Hey Vilo here. Before the video starts, if you're looking to scale your e-commerce brand in 2025 and you're doing at least 50 to 60K a month in revenue, me and my team are going to implement our split testing and direct response funnel system on your brand to help you scale and increase conversion rate, AOV, revenue per visitor, and overall profitability to be able to scale in 2025 and beyond. We've already done this for multiple 7 and 8 figure brand. If you want to work with me and my team, you can book a call, and the first link in the description, you'll get a free audit of your brand on the call. And if you're a fit to work together, then perfect. If you're not, you still get a roadmap to implement for yourself. So it's a win-win. Here to the video. Today I'm breaking down Home Nutrition, a $10 million a year women's supplements brand, and we're going to look at their funnels starting from their creatives. And here on the left I have all of the pages that are sending traffic to in their funnels, but we're going to start with the ad library as usual. So here we have all of the creatives they're running traffic to. So they have 34 active creatives right now. They're running a mix, and I think they have a pretty good mix in their funnel between direct purchase funnels. They have some educational funnels. They have a quiz funnels active. I think the part they're missing on the most probably is the direct purchase part of the funnels, but they're doing a good job on the educational side. And I think what they're missing specifically to scale to the next level and to go beyond $10 million a year is specifically split testing. They are split testing already in this case on their store, but I think in terms of angles and in terms of what they're testing here on the ad library and expanding what they're already working on, which is their educational funnels, expanding a little bit on direct purchase funnels, would help them break through that barrier and get them to the next level. But we're going to start first from the educational funnels they're running traffic to. And they have a blog on their store, which in this case is called The Wellness. They have three main blogs here, three main articles they're running traffic to. One is for bloating, and it's a listicle style article here on the blog, which I think performs really well and it's written really well. We're going to go through one of these right now. The second one is also for bloating. Their supplement ranges from bloating to skincare to hormones, to all of the things one might need in terms of supplements. So they have bloating, they have hormones, they have all of these things. So they have multiple different articles in their blogs talking about all of these things. And then they also have another article here about stress belly, which is also maybe related also to bloating. And as you can see, the structure recalls to that, but we're going to look mainly at one of them. So we're going to look at the bloating one here. It's a listicle style, as you can see from the headline. No bloating at night isn't normal. Here's why, plus 7 tips for relief. A very good structure, a very great way to structure a listicle here. They have the structure also on the right, structuring the article in five different pieces, 5 different sections, and then also the listicle integrating it in a way that says 7 tips to alleviate bloating, and then they use one of those tips or a few of those tips to mention the mechanism to alleviate that bloating, and then the mechanism is included in their product. And they're also doing a good job here. One thing that a lot of brands get wrong is they try this blog angle and the article angle to try and sell their products, both with organic traffic, with SEO, and also with paid traffic, but then they fail on the page to actually get many call to actions into the product to where they want their traffic to be. So either a collection page or a product page or a bundle page, stuff like that. But they do a good job with that because, as you can see here, they first focus immediately on targeting the audience, on explaining the problem, putting out there the problem statement. So the audience that's going to be interested is immediately hooked by the copy they're writing here, and also already by the headline, which in this case is a very good headline. But also immediately after explaining the problem statement, they immediately introduce a few call to actions here for the product. So there is one right here. There is more call to actions all throughout the copy. In this case, they're using it both to reference to other articles they have on their blog pages, but they also use it to reference to pages internal to the store, which might be their quiz page, might be their collection pages, might be the product pages, which we're going to look at after we finish after we are done with the educational funnels. As you can see, with the copy especially, and with how they're structuring the article, they're getting you slowly educated on these problems, and then educate you on how you can solve them, and then tying in their mechanism at the end as the solution, which is the goal and the structure and the framework for educational funnels. You want to never really start from the call to action itself and the product itself, but starting first with the problem statement, the solution statement, the mechanism, and then tying your product in at the end. And they're doing a good job with that. So they go through the 7 tips here to alleviate the bloating. Sections are written pretty well. They're short paragraphs. The headlines talk immediately about, they're kind of a TLDR of the paragraph itself, and then they tie in the, like, through all of the parts, they tie in the call to actions to their products. And as you can see, besides these clear call to actions with the buttons here, they also have hyperlink call to actions through the paragraphs, which in this case is one here that redirects to this product page. But this article kind of style and using the blog both for organic traffic and also for paid traffic, they're tying the two in. So there's not a lot of brands that I've seen, at least, that tie in the both of them. So usually what brands do is that they have a blog on their store, and they use the articles specifically for organic traffic, and they do not send any paid traffic to it. They only use it for SEO and appearing at the top of search queries. And then they have a separate funnel with the page structure in Shopify for listicles, for advertorials, for VSL funnels. But in this case, they're mixing the both together. So this page is both receiving organic traffic, because this is a normal thing you would search obviously on Google, but they're also sending paid traffic to it through Meta. And I think the structure here is perfect for both. So they're doing a pretty good job here on their educational funnels. And they have the quiz funnel, which in this case, this is the page that introduces you to the quiz itself. It's a simple page. They're not directing any traffic specifically to this page right here or to the actual quiz, which we're going to go through right now, but they're directing traffic to their collection page, which we're going to look at after the quiz. And here on the collection page, they have a call out for the quiz itself, and they sell the quiz funnel through with the 30% off as an incentive to take the quiz. And probably what they're doing here, and what you want to do with quiz funnel, you want to give an incentive on quizzes. And you even if you give an incentive, which in this case they're giving 30% off, but you can give you can like structure the offer like however you want it. The reason quiz funnels perform super well is that you can afford to give out an incentive, like for example a percentage off or a free gift or an additional product or anything like that, because on the back end in the quiz itself, you sell them on getting on buying on higher AOV immediately. So they spend more immediately, so you can afford to take the hit on them taking the quiz and going through the quiz, because they're going to buy more when you suggest them maybe two products together, or you suggest them a system of multiple products together, or you get them through any way you want multiple products and to buy on a higher AOV, so you can afford to offer the incentive for them to go through the quiz and end up at the end with a higher AOV, with a bigger purchase amount, instead of them going through the product page or your collections and selecting what products they want. Instead, through the quiz funnel, which also obviously first personal, and that's why it works, you drive them to a bundle offer or something that has higher AOV and higher value, higher perceived value, so you can afford to offer the incentive in the first place. So that's why quiz funnels perform super well, but they're not sending any traffic to it specifically. They have a call out for that on the collection page, and the quiz itself is structured pretty well. So here's the page for the quiz. The first thing is that they remind the quiz takers here that they have the recommendations are given by them, so they are personalized. You get a $10 coupon, and then like they give you here all of the benefits you get by completing the quiz, which are, as you can see here, at the end of the progress bar, which gives obviously that sense of gamifying the process and going through the quiz itself. But the structure for the quiz itself is actually pretty good. As you can see here, quiz perform super well when they are interactive, when they are visual, when you can answer easily, when the questions are not too complicated and you can go through them pretty quickly without having to think too much. And here, for example, a pretty good way of doing that is how colorful is your food? And here we're using kind of framing the questions in this simple gamified way, helps them perform super well. They have 13 steps in their quiz. Steps is one of the biggest indicator, or like one of the main things you can kind of work on depending on your quiz, to be able to get more people to go through them and take actually the quiz and fill it in. They have 13 steps, which is not too much, and also like not, I think, the average good amount that we've seen perform well for quiz funnels that we've implemented for our clients in this niche specifically, but it's not also too many. So it's a good size to have a quiz. If you want to be a little bit more in depth, then you can definitely go for 13, 14, 15 steps, but never more than that. It becomes too much, and then people that actually reach the end of the quiz become too little. But you can kind of aim for between 7 to 12, 13, even 15 steps to to have kind of a sweet spot you can place your quits in, and that usually performs well. But then you can, if you see that the intake is too low, of a few people reach the end, then you can play with the kind of steps, or maybe there's questions that you can mix together. You can have multiple questions on the same page mixed in the same questions, and maybe they can answer that together and make it easier. But yeah, make it playful, make so that they can select and feel it actually personalized for them. For example, this step is a great example of this. Selecting multiple options, having few things here that you can play with, and having a different sections structured in different ways. As you can see, the pages are not all the same between them. These last few ones are, but at the beginning, as you can see, the structure varies and it's playful and it's gamified. Here's the collection page. They have a pretty good structure here in terms of filtering. So they have the filtering mainly based on concerns. So if you click on the concern, you get the filter page for the concern you're looking for. So this is a pretty good first layer of filtering for that, but they don't have any other layer of filtering besides the concern. They only have other filters for bestsellers and stuff that's bundled or that you can save on. I think they can maybe dial in a little bit more the filters here and split test filters actually people care about and what is clicked on the most. On collection pages, heat maps help you a lot, because obviously when people need to filter and click a lot of things and just search through your SKUs, especially if you have many, heat maps help you a lot with seeing how much people scroll, how much are they willing to scroll, how much are they willing to click before they bounce or before they actually find the product, what do they click on the most, what are the most searched for products or concerns, and then you can play with that to kind of structure your filtering section on the collection page. But in this case, it's a good enough filtering, and the structure itself for the collection page is pretty good. So as you can see here, they have the product, they have a little description that immediately gives you an idea of what the product is about, because not a lot of people care about the title. Just if you are very loyal to the brand, or you buy multiple times from the brand, but and then you can build a moat around kind of the name of the product, which works at later stages. But giving why the product matters for you and what the product does for you is what gets people involved and wanting to buy it in the first place. They have a good structure for that with the title, the little paragraph description here under, reviews immediately, and the social proof for that. They have the call to action on it, and they are very well structured. They have the pages for the bestseller, but the collection page in itself, also with the quiz call out that we talk about on the quiz section, I think it's structured pretty well. The only thing I want to check here is how it's structured on mobile. That matters a lot, because obviously most of the traffic is on mobile, so you're going to want to make that matter and look especially at the mobile, at how people interact with the website and with your store and with your pages on mobile. And here also on mobile, the structure is good. They have the same structure they have going on desktop. They're using one of the product sections here in the collection page to sell the quiz, which is perfect, is what we test with a lot of the brands we work with and our clients. And then the structure in itself with a 2x2 grid is pretty good. What I think is missing from their overall strategy, and I didn't see in their ad library and this and really any traffic to it, is they have a bundle section in between all of their collections with multiple bundles to get their products. And on the collection side of things, so if you actually care to find these bundles here, but because they're not sending any traffic to it, the structure is pretty good. So they're how they're structuring it, how they're positioning their bundles, and how the products work together is perfect. And we're going to look at the bundle product page after this collection here to see how they structure that. And I think the structure is pretty good. But what I mentioned at the beginning, they're missing on the direct purchase side of things. They should have some sales pages in place or direct purchase funnels in place for their bundles for higher AOV offers. I think they would perform very well, especially with how they're positioning and targeting their bundles between products right here. And I think a more direct purchase focused funnel here. And remember, when you're a brand that wants to scale, wants to reach those 7, 8, 9 figures in scale, you want to obviously implement all of these funnels. You want to have educational funnels, you want to have direct purchase funnels, you want to have quiz funnels. You want to make sure you can hit and get purchases and convert from every single type of traffic, of prospect. You want to make sure you have something for them. And obviously at the beginning, you start with one angle, with one funnel, and you want to find that angle, that targeting or that positioning that works for your product and for your brand, and then expanding on that positioning, on the targeting with multiple funnels, and then expanding the funnels themselves. Here they already clearly have found the targeting, they have found the angles, they're building funnels upon them. So what they want to do now is expand their funnel strategy to multiple funnels and then scale them up with many different offers and offering different things on different funnels to different targeting and positioning for their products. So what they're missing here, I think, is some sort of work on their direct purchasing power here on the direct purchasing funnels, and they would do a great job with proposing these bundle offers right here because they have higher AOV than the usual product. As you can see here, $84, $60, $64, $104. These are prices that work very well on direct purchase funnels because they have a greater perceived value, and so people obviously justify spending these amounts on bundles. So these on direct purchase funnels will perform very well. Now we are on one of their product pages, specifically for one of their best-selling product, which we were looking at on the collection page, which is Flutter Me. I think they have a pretty good structure going on here, starting immediately from the carousel. They have an optimized carousel with images focused on benefits, focused on features of the product, focused on ingredients, social proof, UGC. They have a very good carousel in place here, especially on mobile. You have to always look at pages from the mobile side of things because that's where most brands gets most of their visitors. And as you can see here, having an optimized carousel helps so much with retaining people on the store and not letting them bounce and not having them also scrolling to get all of that important information they won't get if you don't have an optimized carousel because they won't scroll beyond the above the fold. So having an optimized carousel here, having a carousel filled with benefits, filled with social proof, filled with solution statement, all of these things helps a lot with getting people hooked in and not letting them bounce immediately off your product page. And you have to always look to understand this. You have to look mostly at mobile versions of pages to understand how much the actual effect is for carousels. For the structure itself, above the fold, they're doing pretty well. I think here, instead of having this wall of text, which is it explains pretty well how the product works, but I think it's too much to take in immediately above the fold. I think this section here, I would rather prefer having this bullet point list here above the fold and then having this section of text here replace this. So basically exchange the two and have this bullet point list above the fold and this under the call to action than having it how it is right now. This is much more easily readable. It's much more easily skimmable. You get the idea immediately by reading through the bullet point list. It's much harder to do through a wall of text, and just even by looking at it like to the eye, just by looking at it, I'm not the target customer obviously for this product, but just by looking at it, not even reading what is it, if you look at the two blocks of text, like if you look at this and if you look at this, just how you intake it immediately, the first perceived impression you have is much different. This is just feels easier, just feel much simpler to go through, and this feels a little bit harder, even if it's not. So first impression and how you perceive immediately what you see through the eye. We are a very visual creature, so you want to make sure that your above the fold is very easy on the eye, and it drives you to the important action we want, which in this case, adding to cart. And as you can see, the call to actions here pops to the eye very easily because it's the only thing on the page that has this color right here. It's very distinguishable. It's big. It takes its space above the fold. And here, from how you can see, they're structuring their buy box, and this is such a simple thing to think about, but a lot of brands I think struggle with doing this. Is, for example, you can immediately understand from the structure of the buy box that this brand wants to focus on LTV. They want to get as many people as possible into their subscriptions and to have that higher LTV later down the road for the brand and increasing that MRR, because they're structuring their call to actions. They just have one single hyperlink call to action for the one-time purchase, but they have this big box with all of these benefits and all of these things for the subscription offer. And this is what I mentioned with a lot of brands and a lot of our clients that we work with. A lot of these tests, there's a lot of people in the CRO space or conversion rate optimization or whatever you want to call it, or traffic optimization, that need to see complicate things and complicate the structure of tests and stuff like that. But usually if you have an idea of where you want to go and the goal you want to go for, and in this case, if you want to focus on MRR, there are some tests or some things that you can do that are just common sense. So if you want more people to go for the subscription, then you make the one-time purchase harder to click or harder to see, or much more simpler in structure and in color than the subscription offer you want to actually people go for, and you put all of these benefits and all of these things attached to that. And as you can probably understand from here, they're really pushing for the subscription offer here. Then they have a very simple section under the fold, under the call to action. Simple, obviously, wins. You have to test this and you have to work on this a lot by looking at heat maps, by looking at how people interact with your brand and with your store. But usually simple wins. So what it does, how it works, how to take, very simple, easy to take in. Bullet points, as usual, are very easy on the eye. Then under the fold, you have to go a little bit heavier on education, especially with direct purchase. And if you sell immediately on the product page, you have to still educate your prospect and your traffic a little bit. So education on the ingredients, how you can expect to perceive the results, how long does it take to get the results, a breakdown here of all the ingredients they have inside the product, more reviews, more social proof. I feel this page could be a little bit longer. They're not doing much here to sell you on expectation, the problem statement, the solution statement. I think on the product page, you should do a little bit more of that. So I would test here personally a few more sections focused on education. I feel this product page is a little bit too short, especially since the function of the page is direct purchase. So you want to still, you're already selling the product above the fold, so you can use space under the fold to get people more invested into the product and into the mechanism. So I think what I would test here is making this page a little bit longer with better education section, a little bit more information. Then we have their bundle product page. This is what we looked at when we were looking at their collection page for bundles. They're doing a very good job with bundles here, and that's why I mentioned the direct purchase funnels. They would perform extremely well for them for that higher AOV. They have good images explaining how the product match together, how to take them together, what are their effects together, how they are supposed to be used together, and that's when you actually unlock higher AOV, and when you can get to those higher levels of AOV is when you explain why the system, why the bundle in itself works well together. It's not just about the offer, it's not just about how many incentives you give out. Obviously, a good offer is important, but if you fail to make the customer perceive the value of having these products together, of why they perform so well together, then the offer won't really matter. So you need to do that with your bundles. And if you want higher AOV, as you can see, they're pushing hard on explaining why the bundle works well together, what it does specifically. Here, as you can see, they want to sell you the fact that you get all of those three, or you don't get any one of these. And that's obviously that's not what you want. You still want customers to buy from you, even if they don't go for the bundle. But the perceived idea you get here, and the perceived value of the three, is that you can unlock the actual value through the products if you get all of the three together. And that's what you want when you think about high AOV offers or high AOV bundles and systems. So here, as you can see, another section dedicated to the routine. They want to sell you the routine of these three products together, how they perform together, what they do together. So that's what you want to push for, specifically when you sell bundles, when you sell multiple products together. Another section here, again, explaining every single product by itself, what it does and how it works, and then selling the three together for the perceived value and the expectations for the three products together. Another week, another brand funnel breakdown completed. I do these all the time with brand owners on discovery calls. And if you're afraid to work together, then it's perfect. If not, they still have a roadmap to start split testing by themselves. And with my 1-hour guide on the channel and the 60-page split testing system you can get in the second link in the description by subscribing to my email list, you can still do all of these things by yourself, even if you're not fit to work together. So it's a win-win in every case you book a discovery call with me. So do that in the first link, get the 60-page PDF in the second link, and see you in the next video.